Good morning, good evening, everyone. I am Dorrance Cooper from the Emergency Food Security Response Program in Bangladesh, in Bazar. For this presentation, I'll be doing it together with Ryan, the Deputy COP, and I'm the COP for the grant. But the presentation was put together by the team, particularly our M&E team. The Emergency Food Security Program is a 2-year program that started in 2019 and will end in 2021, and is being funded by USAID and BHA. The goal is to improve food security and nutrition for 34,112 Rohingya refugees and 5,229 vulnerable host community. The camp program ran for a year that ended in August 2020, and we've just concluded our evaluation. It's a multi-sectoral approach in the host community that looks at health, nutrition, wash, agriculture, and DRR and gender. And in the camps, we're looking at skills training, working with refugees to also increase their household food security. And when COVID hit us in March, April, we had to go back to the drawing board to make sure that operations continue for these vulnerable people, both in the camp and the host community. The program had to seek a slight modification after our assessment from USAID, and which they granted onto us to do some of the adaptation we'll be talking about in our break room session. And for us to be able to adapt this program, we had to do some quick survey. And when we get into the breakout session, we'll look at the data collection methodology we used in order to be able to adapt to the current situation and to make sure that program goes ahead. And the most affected people, like the refugees, were still able to receive what they wanted to, what they had to receive to make sure they were sustainable. We'll also, when we go to the breakout session, some of the programs that we adapted after our data, we'll look at this data in details that help us to look at how we are going to adapt our programs for the camp and how we are going to adapt our programs for the host community to make sure that we minimize the impact of COVID-19 on both the Rohingya refugee and the host community. We'll also look at in details the reason why we did this adaptation and how this adaptation helps us not only to reach the beneficiaries we're here to serve, but also to protect staff and also to look at virtual method in collecting data that help us to implement the program. So we'll talk more. There will be opportunities to ask questions when we get into the break room sessions.